you want to actually go out and see the farms locally and know the people who are harvesting the stuff.
Because a lot of the stuff is just our day-to-day working and our operation. It's not, I don't do something because it's environmentally sound. We do it because it means a lot to us and it's important to the business and the success of the business, and it's because that's our ethos, you know.
A lot of the customers that we have come to us because, you know, what we're doing, okay, yes, we're shipping it right down into England, but, you know, our operation up here is very localised. It's, you know, we are sourcing from very nearby, and our customers like that, and they like the fact that we know where it's coming from.
Most people who work at the brewery work locally, well, most of them were born locally, therefore protection of this ground and the resource that we have and you know, is in everybody's heads. It's just an underpinning thing that we all think is the right thing to do.
It's not about saying we source locally from these sources and then just not really saying anything about it. It's about having that conversation and saying, okay, well, this is the season, and okay, so what do we do about that? Do we can? Do we have root cellars and hold over vegetables like they did 150 years ago? You know,
yes.
Probably we start to do that. And that's the conversation that we have with our consumers, and it's that ongoing dialogue that we want to promote.
Yes, because actually the way we're doing things now, by having lorries going all the way to Stockport with our beer, we can only get better, if you know what I mean. Our carbon footprint can only improve, so.
From trying to get engaged with customers, and I can tell them that this is what I'm doing, and this is what we're starting. I can get a page onto the website where people can come and have a look and see, you know, see what the story is and see how it's all progressing.
A lot of people are maybe a bit surprised when they come here. They're not expecting the environmental side, and then they get it, and it's hopefully a welcome change. And it's not the standard hotel practice of don't you know, about kind of washing towels and all that kind of rubbish. You know, it goes a lot further than that because it needs to. You know, and I think a lot of guests maybe think, oh, they want you to reuse your towels just for money aspects rather than all the other kind of things that go with it. But there's loads of things that we're kind of constantly changing, and we've just recently, you know, spent a ridiculous amount of money on some new tables, but that means that we haven't got to use linen. So that's going to dramatically change the use of water and products and things that we've got there. So that'll be interesting to monitor that kind of differentiation.
At the moment, we take malted barley, we add hot water to that. A byproduct of that is the spent malt, which if you were making tea would be like your tea leaves. That goes into trailers and is then taken by local farmers to feed cattle.
The beef would be coming in from the farm Dallas and going into Elgin for slaughter, and then coming into our facility here. Pork would be the same.
Okay.
Coming from, and then lamb actually gets slaughtered at a different slaughterhouse near Aviemore. So, and then presumably a number gets spat out at the end of this.
Well, there's a number here, which is what, 14 tons of CO2
per week.
Yeah.
That sounds rubbish.
And when we see that map and we see things that are far away, we can say, okay, how can we get this ingredient closer to us? Or how can we change our menu to use an ingredient that would be more locally sourced? Like when we look at our sugar, you know, sugar comes from, you know, Central and South America for the most part. You know, could we use honey or maple syrup, which comes from right up the street?
And what we're trying, and this idea came from our initial meeting, was actually finding that food circle within the national park.
Okay.
So that we are growing the barley within the national park, and at the moment it's very early days, but we're speaking to 2 farmers. They wouldn't be able to produce enough barley for us to only buy our barley from within the national park, but we want to get it that barley is then being fertilised by the byproducts of the beer that's then produced, so that we get the full circle. How good is that?
You know, and the fact that we've saved 190,000 tonnes of CO2 is quite impressive, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if that could be in there, because at the moment, if you had a customer who's looking at the information, oh yeah, that's all very well, they've had 50 people from Germany or whatever, but what other information are they getting here that we're making a difference? They can't see any difference there, you know what I mean? Absolutely. So that's maybe one of the other things that could be for development.
Yes, we have this philosophy of like why we're doing it, but ultimately the thing that trumps all is that the food tastes better.
Tastes better, yeah.